Ladies and gentlemen, a super media superstar, a Syrian-Canadian influencer on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Millions of followers everywhere. The whole world knows him. An Arab influencer is one of the most well-known. Please welcome Saif Shawaf. Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Is this your first podcast?
No, I've done more podcasts.
Yeah, so I want to start off with, I want you to introduce yourself to the people who don't know you at home and would like to learn more.
I'm Saif Shawaf. I'm a social media influencer. I like to call myself a content creator.
Yeah.
I love making videos. I love editing. I love filming. I love everything about creation of just videos. So that's what I do. It's my full-time thing, and I'm just loving it. It's always been my thing. It's always been something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I would say, you know, I'm finally where I am, where I want to be.
Right.
So, content creator. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here today. And I mean, this is a surprise to all of us because I've never expected to actually
It's our second podcast.
Yeah, and we already have a guest speaker. Even schools don't do guest speakers anymore, so
Yeah,
this is definitely nice.
It's definitely cool. You know, the reason why I'm here is because, you know, we go to the same gym. So
Yeah.
you and your friend.
I can't.
How about me and Armand? We talk about how this started. Was we were once on a video call, me, Armand and Noah. And
No, let's start off from the base. So I was at the gym and I was like, yo, I think that's the Saif Shawaf,
like,
the celebrity.
I know that he's seen him.
Yeah.
But and then me and Armand, we argue over who's the one who tell him to be on our podcast.
Yeah.
I swear I said.
I swear I said it first.
But anyways, he went to him. He said, "Do you want to be on our podcast?" Immediately, he said, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah,
Give us the
we were on
details,
video
and
call. It went crazy.
I mean, I was
You
going
started
like
jumping
this,
up.
like jumping up and down.
That's awesome. I love that. And the reason why I said yes is because I kind of pictured myself, you know, younger and your age
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and going up to somebody and asking them to be on the podcast, like that would be so cool if the person said yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that would
Absolutely.
obviously that would also probably do something in your life that would change something, that would create something in the future that would be better for you
That is-
or even the world.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, why not? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
know
one
it's
of the-
very low tech. We got some phones going on here recording.
School funding has
Couple
not approved me.
iPhones.
I mean, very few celebrities would actually agree to something like this and would be this kind to come here and do all of this with us. For high schoolers who are unprofessional, totally don't know what they're doing.
Very genuine guy to like.
Yeah. I was always saying like he's one of my favorite like TikTokers because he's one of those like nice like people, you know. Like, some of the TikTokers out there are just a little bit immature, and yeah.
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So I read that you've moved a lot in your life. For example, Saudi Arabia, then you came to Mississauga, then went back to Saudi Arabia and Dubai, and even China at some point.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did his research.
Yes. Definitely. So, like, how has that influenced your life? Do you think those emotional trauma or like those changes in life all the time, do you think they made you a stronger person, or has it put you down?
That's a great question. At the beginning, when my dad, it's basically because of my dad. My dad
Yeah.
has a business, so he was moving us around to create a better future for us. But back then, I took it so badly. It was such a bad feeling to make friends and then lose them after a couple of years, and then move to a completely new country, have to make new friends, and I always thought, my dad doesn't get it. Like how could he do such a huge thing as to ruin my life? That's how I saw it growing up. And as you mentioned, like I've been to multiple countries, but within the same country, I used to go to different schools as well. So it was really, really emotionally like heavy on me growing up. But now that I'm where I am today, even a few years back, I completely shifted my mentality towards, this whole situation of moving around and my view towards why my dad did this. It went to, me feeling bad about it to me feeling very appreciative of it because it made me who I am today. And when you move around a lot and you experience new cultures and you talk to new people, you also develop a stronger character. You're more capable of adapting to changes. So all these things that I gained from traveling helped shape who I am today. And I wouldn't change anything from the past. Like none of those movements, I would not change. And I also learned how to speak Mandarin in China. And
That's actually one of the things I wanted to ask you about. I mean? So, like, do you speak?
Met a lot of cool people. I don't speak fluent Mandarin, but I can get away I can get my way around. Like I can, you know, if I'm a visitor in China, I can like take a taxi and go wherever I want and like have somewhat of a conversation with people. Yeah.
Is there a reason why like China? Because it seems like kind of.
Because so my dad, his business, the product that he makes is from China. So he was gonna go for 2 years. He didn't want to leave us for 2 years, so we went there. Yeah.
So you would say like this helped you create a social personality, like make friends and adapt easily.
Oh, definitely, man. It really did like really help because you know, a lot of people when they have changes in their life, like just they stop talking to a friend, they go through trauma, and it affects their school, it affects their family, affects their social life. But me, because I was able to experience like loss, especially loss of friends, that's a huge thing. I was able to be okay with it and not let it affect me as much as somebody else would.
I've moved a lot too. I think I've been to 7 different schools in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, so Syria, UAE 2 schools, and then Canada 2 schools. I lived in Toronto before, but it definitely, I think it made me make a lot more friends, get more socially interactive with people and less awkward, because I used to be the shy kid that's quiet in the class, but now I'm
that actually used to be me. I used to be believe it or not, I used to be shy. I used to be like not as confident, but then something shifted. I remember it was grade like 11, 12 when everything changed and I was like the most super confident person ever.
I think it's also like there's something that with me and Arman, we've basically stayed around the same area, like we've gone to the same like family of schools type thing, so like some of these people we've been knowing from like when we were 5 and stuff, so if we were to like move now, it would be really difficult for us. We'd be shy. But you guys at an early age to like be moving around, meeting new people and that, it's like a good strength to have.
Yeah, but also remember like this is something I learned, like you're gonna have friends and you're gonna lose friends, like nothing's gonna last forever.
That is true.
And to like base your life and your happiness on the friends that you have today, and like if you lose them it's the end of the world, it's not right, because
not a healthy mindset.
It's gonna change. Your friends today probably won't be your friends in a few years, and that's fine.
So like, do you think, but did it have a downside? Like, for example, are you less emotionally attached to a place? Like, do you feel like you can't settle in one place, or has it affected your relationships with friends?
No, like it didn't affect my relationship with friends. No, I can have a really healthy relationship with friends. It's fine, but it did make me more appreciative of my friends. So
that is true.
I'm very like, you know, I'm always the guy that's like trying to, you know, be there for my friends, help them out, whatever. I just appreciate friends, I guess, more.
Can I expand that point? Sorry. Like, you've been to places like China, Dubai, UAE, like all those like cool kind of places. What sticks out about Ontario, Canada to you?
I love Canada, and I love Mississauga. I know like some of y'all are probably like, Saga. No, I love it. It's my home. Like I know how to go anywhere whenever I want, and you know everybody here is just like, I've been to 18 countries, and every time I go to a different country, I love Canada more.
Wow.
You know, a lot of people, you go online and you see these things on Instagram. You know those pages that we watch, and they're always spreading negative things about Canada, and then you start being like, oh, Canada sucks. No. Canada's great. Like we have, you know, nothing's perfect. Obviously, we have our but the people here doesn't beat it. The people are so nice here.
When I came from UAE to Canada, I think that was a huge thing. The people here, they're way nicer. Like I was so welcome to class. I was like, what is going on? It's like everybody knows me already or something. In UAE, it's a little bit more like meaner people, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's different types of people everywhere.
Of course, you could meet both, but I'm saying like in general, like I felt way more welcome when I
feel like I'm more I can relate more with people here. Like my jokes, my humor, my, you know, everything just hits. Over there, I might have to adapt to the way they are, and they might not get a lot of things about me, and I have to like adapt my ways to their ways and whatever. But over here, it's just easy. I can meet someone, you know, out at events and whatever, and we can instantly click, and it's easy.
So
you know?
yeah, that is true. People are like way more relaxed here, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, so when you came to UAE, or you came from Saudi Arabia to Mississauga, were you? Did you know English at the time? Or not?
I was 3 years old when I came,
Oh wow. Okay.
so I didn't even know Arabic.
I was about to say that.
I didn't. No, I didn't speak. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you ever like miss like living in your own like culture and community in like, for example, where you're from?
No, this is my home.
Okay.
Listen. Let me
Yeah,
explain.
it is
something.
multicultural.
Let me explain something. A lot of like parents love them.
Yeah.
Obviously, listen to them, but a lot of times don't. I know this sounds weird, but why? Like they had their ways in the past, and they, things worked out for them back then. If you are gonna take their words, then something's wrong, because you're living in their realm of what is true. Why am I saying this? When you're Arab or Pakistani or whatever, or Indian or whatever, and you come here, you don't have to like I know love your culture and love I'm so proud of my culture, and I love everything about my family. Okay, but when you hear you're a new person, you're this new hybrid, and that's fine. Like, appreciate both. Like, you're a Canadian, be proud of that, and wherever you are from the past, also embrace that. I eat Syrian food. I speak the Syrian dialect, and I do Syrian things, like go to the park and start listening to music and clapping and doing those. Those are the things that I appreciate. But I'm also Canadian, and I'm in both. So to really just hold on to your roots and just like completely and ignore the fact that you're Canadian is not good. So just appreciate both. Yeah, and this is where I don't miss home, because I've never lived. I was born in Saudi Arabia, but I'm not Saudi Arabian. They don't give you citizenship. Right. I'm Syrian. I identify as Syrian Canadian, right? So I've never lived in Syria.
Yeah.
But I would never want to live in Syria, not because there's something wrong in Syria. I just don't fit in.
Right.
I'm a Canadian Syrian. Put me in Syria, I'm lost. I won't. I'll eventually adapt, but like I said, again, the sense of humor that we got, the way that we talk.
Yeah,
to
it's
each
definitely
other.
different environment, different culture, different.
Yes,
you've adapted
it
to,
won't
like,
work
culture
there.
in
Yeah, I would never
And just because you're here doesn't mean you forget your culture.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not part of you.
Yeah,
And around us,
definitely.
we have like all these people are brown, all these people are Arab. Like you don't feel.
Yeah, I definitely don't, especially in Mississauga, you definitely don't feel like an outsider, or
Yeah.
you don't feel like someone from a different country at all. Toronto, I did feel a little bit, because I was the only one not white guy there, and everyone spoke perfect English, and I came from UAE, and I didn't exactly speak proper English.
Yeah.
Yes, it took me a while.
Exactly, and to connect it back to why I said listen to your parents, but not all the time, is because they probably are super we're from there and whatever. I get it. But we're also we gotta embrace this culture too, the Canadian culture, whatever it is. It's a very multicultural thing, so we gotta embrace other people's culture and the Canadian just feel of whatever's happening here as well, and not ignore that. We're here, we're being taken care of, and we have this land, and we're for the good, pretty much the better part. We're free, and we can do whatever we want. That's really cool.
Yeah,
So let's
it is.
respect that
Yeah.
and appreciate it, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I want to ask you, did you ever imagine getting this far, or when you posted that dare for singing?
I love these questions. You've done really a good job with the questions. So
Autobiography.
that's awesome. So basically, I ever think I would reach this far. It's one of those things where it's like a dream that you're like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but there's this feeling inside that it will.
Yeah. Oh, so you did have kind of an imagination for this?
Yes. Okay. So let me explain to you how it happened. So I did YouTube for a while back in the day, and then I stopped. I quit.
You're growing so much on YouTube right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm at 260K, and so I grew up 250,000 in 2 weeks. So I'm going to 1 million. Probably within
you stayed
2-3 weeks. I'm going to 1 million.
Yeah.
That's happening. But anyways, so I started on YouTube, which is insane. that I'm going on YouTube now because I wanted to be on, like, to grow on YouTube back in the day, and then I quit, which is fine. Quitting is not like the end of the world. So I came back, but during the time that I quit is when I never like completely killed the dream.
Yeah. Oh, really?
That's the thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So I would,
because some people just be like, yeah, no, I'm done, and then a long time later they'll be like, yeah, I didn't imagine it like ending forever, but I never thought I'd come back, but I am actually back. Some people just give up. Like,
exactly. Most people give up.
Yeah.
That's the fact. So but I told myself every job I took, this is temporary.
Right.
Like this is not my. I'm not meant to. Nothing wrong with sitting behind a desk in front of a computer and doing that. That's fine. All jobs, whatever makes you happy. But for me, as a creative soul, it's just to be stuck in one place from a certain time to a certain time and have a lunch break. It just doesn't work. Because I need to let that creativity out, right? So I would tell myself, okay, I'm taking this job, but it's temporary. I never took it as like, I'm comfortable now. Like, no, I didn't accept it. And then when the opportunity happened, I took it. And I went full force when COVID started, right? And I made it my job.
Yeah.
So I stayed at home, because I was working at that time at Lifetime.
Yeah,
at a gym. And when you work at a gym, you can't work from home. So I was sitting at home and I had a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I actually got fired before going to Lifetime, and that was the best thing that happened to me. Back then I thought it was the worst thing.
All right.
And I actually felt
some
so
things
bad.
you just see in life later on that it was a good thing.
Yeah, so basically what happened is I got fired from my tech job, which was behind a desk, and we had laptops that we could take home. I got fired and I thought it was the end of the world. Yeah. But because I got fired from that job, I looked for another job and I got hired at a gym, and I couldn't work from home. So that firing of the job led to me being able to go
Finding
home
something else, yeah.
and not having to work. Because if I was still at my tech job, I would just take my laptop and I would have to continue working.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have free time.
Yeah.
So now I understand, like, wow, the idea of like when bad things happen, they're not really bad.
Yeah.
They're probably good for you.
Yeah, wait until the future.
Like, now I know it's a fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just went for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, on the topic of that, I want to know how, like, knowing how Middle Eastern and brown parents kind of react to these type of stuff, how did your parents react to you, like, pursuing this as your full career?
Awesome. Also great question. So basically, at the beginning, obviously, they were, like, spectacle, because at the end of the day, our parents, what do they want? They want us to be happy.
Yeah.
And whatever it takes, they want us to be happy. A lot of times, it's damaging because they want us to be happy their way.
Yeah.
And they think that's gonna... But the intention behind it is always pure and positive. They want us to be happy.
Yeah.
So they tell you to be a doctor, because back in the day, being a doctor meant
Money.
you got good money and you can get a good
respect.
wife, you can get a good husband, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So when I started doing social media, they're like, they were I'm blessed to have awesome parents. They didn't say anything about it, but they were, you can sense they were kind of like, what is this? Like,
Yeah,
they were kind of worried. But I didn't let that, like, that you need to understand, like, where the line you should draw with your parents. Respect, always.
Yeah.
You know, care, love, always, to anybody. Respect, love, care, it's not just your parents. But life choices and decisions for yourself, no. You gotta...
You can take advice, and you can
take advice. You can take
why.
advice from dad, mom,
Yeah.
friend, coach, and a guy you just met at the coffee shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody, you take the advice, and then you do what's best for you at the end of the day. So basically, So what you gotta do with your parents, you gotta show them. You do it,
Show them
and then
it's going.
so what happened when I started growing and I started making my first like check from deals that I was making, and I was showing them numbers like, mom, dad, look.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, hold up.
This could be a
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
And then every time I would show them, I got a new contract, I got this deal, blah blah blah, I'm making this, and then they're like, whoa, and now I'm looking, to buy my first house and whatever.
Wow.
So
That's amazing, yeah.
now actually the day my dad said this kind of like made me feel like really warm on the inside. I was walking downstairs and my dad was like in his office, and he's like, yo, Saif, like, I just want, like, what's the next video you're working on? If you need help, like, I got good ideas, I can help.
Yeah.
I'm not too old, like, whatever. My dad like jokes around like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what? like now my dad's like trying to help me out with these videos. And my dad is one of those people like business,
Right.
You know, you know, he's like this boss. He has a lot of employees, and he thinks the best way to make money is to have a product and sell it. That's his mentality. He never said doctor. He said business. My mom says doctor, but yeah, that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
And I wanted to say, I mean, back to like YouTube thing, like when you all started everything. I remember actually it was like around like 5 or 6 years ago. My brother, he first showed me one of your first YouTube videos. It was the one you were in Toronto, and you were interviewing people, and I realized that now, like I kind of forgot about that video because it was a while back, and then you popped up out of nowhere on my TikTok page a while back, and I was like, oh wow. I remember this guy. I showed my brother, and he was like, "Yeah, I've been following him for a while now." I was so surprised to see like he made this like he's just made this such a big influence on all these social media platforms now, and so it was kind of inspiring to me because I always wondered if getting a stable job would be like enough for me in life. Is it really what I always wanted, right? So it was pretty inspiring that you just went out and you did that so many years ago, and now you're still doing it.
Thank you. And let me tell you this: if you the thing that you probably heard, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but when you want to do something in life, like don't think about the money. Think what would be like a nice life for you to do every day if money was not even a thing.
Yeah.
If money didn't exist, if there was one thing or a couple things that you wanted to do, what would they be? Money will follow if you do it passionately enough. And I can say this because I've tested it, and it's true. It's a fact. When I did social media for the first 5 months, I was making nothing. Right? But I kept going. I'm like, Saif, I kept reminding myself, why are you doing this? Because you love it. You're like, right, okay, so then do it. Don't worry about it. The money will come. If the money comes, it comes. If it doesn't, whatever. You're doing what you love. So I kept doing it, and then the money came. So no matter what you do, I truly believe in this. If you do it passionately enough, and you don't think about money, the money with the laws of the universe will come. Like it just because you're so good at it and you're so passionate about it, people are gonna start throwing money at you because of that. You know what I'm trying to say? Also, another thing that you guys should do if you wanna like really understand these things that I'm talking about is read books. I cannot emphasize this enough. If it wasn't for books, I wouldn't be here today, doing what I'm doing today. 1,000%.
Why?
When was the last time you guys picked up a book that's not from this school?
Actually,
Not too long ago.
The guy over there is raising his hand. Great, good job. What was the book? Was it like a fiction or non-fiction?
It's fiction. I'm trying to read. I'm getting to more like non-fiction.
Yeah.
It was fiction.
It was fiction. Fiction is the one where it's like Harry Potter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm talking about non-fiction, like self-development, mental health type stuff, like how your brain works.
It's kind of something that I was interested in though, because there's books like, I don't know if you heard Atomic Habits.
Yes, I've read that.
48 Laws of Power.
Yeah,
just
things
stuff
like
about
that.
helping
Life,
yourself,
self-help,
and skills.
you know,
Like those are stuff that I
self-development,
want to get into. I haven't gotten the opportunity, but like I should be.
Atomic Habits is definitely a
I
good
know
one.
how
It's
Yeah.
definitely a good read. I actually like started reading those like non-fiction books recently, and I found it changed the way I think itself, the way like I act in my own brain. It like changed my whole perception on life itself.
At some point, it becomes just like first few times you have to force that thought and whatever, the positive thought. Then at some point, it just becomes like subconscious. Like you just do it normally. Like you're used to this personality now.
Exactly. So this is what, when you're growing up, you learn from your parents, your school, your society, your people, and then as you grow older and you become this age, you gotta unlearn things like that. Like that's the way of life. You learn all these things growing up. You get, excuse my language, effed up. And then you gotta un-F yourself. There's actually a book called Yeah. Really, it's a nice book. So many F-bombs in there, but I mean, that's the purpose behind the book, right? But you really have to un-F yourself, basically, with all the bullshit that you learn growing up, right? So, and then that's where books come. Because in school, they're not gonna...
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they're not gonna teach you how your brain works. And it's not that complicated. If once you understand the power of like your thoughts, then life becomes more beautiful, and everything becomes it makes a lot more sense when you're doing things. So if you're not reading, like someone out there, a lot of people, actually thousands of people, wrote a book with the answers, and you're actively saying, no, I don't want to read it. Come on. Like it's there for $15 on Audible. I don't read because I can't focus. I listen. I'm at the gym. And
that's why the headphones are always in.
I'm driving. I have an hour or 2 hour drive. I put on a book. Music. Like, okay, great. Music is awesome, but like not all the time. Right? You gotta give yourself your brain a break and actually learn something. And there's books that I've read 3 times.
3 times, wow.
And for me, growing up, I've had anxiety, and a lot of I don't know who I can't really use bad words here. I am. So I wanted to really understand that. So how did I understand that? Is through reading books, because if you don't know who you are, and you ask questions like what my purpose is, and you don't know how to answer that, you start feeling like scared. But once you understand who you are and like what the meaning of purpose is and where we're going and what life is about and why we're here, that's the fundamentals. You gotta fix that first before you build on reading Atomic Habits and shit like that. You gotta start from the beginning. You gotta go to the core.
What's a book recommendation?
Make sure that you understand who you are, not your ego. Okay, so basically you need to start with the roots and then build upon it, right? And then read books like Atomic Habits and How to Influence People, Make Friends and Influence People. These books, right, that we all know about. But make sure that you figure out the questions of like why we're here and what's life about and what's my purpose and these things first. And make sure you don't have a problem with that. And okay, so I'll give you some book recommendations. So for anybody who has like anxiety, depression, or just feels like all they're thinking about is negative thoughts. And by the way, that's normal because the brain loves negative thoughts. It's just easier to think a negative thought than a positive thought, and it's addicting. You guys don't know this, but a negative thought actually creates something in you that like wants more of it. So if you're a type of person that thinks negative thoughts, we all do. But if it's affecting your life, then read a book called Loving What Is by Byron Katie. And I've read that book 3 times. Every time I go through a crisis, I read the book. Because nothing that will happen to you that is bad that book won't be able to like make you understand what it really is. It will change your perspective on what your problem is, and then you will be able to like overcome it. So the Loving What Is, and then I would read for the fundamental stuff of like, remember I told you, if you're not really sure of who you are or what life is about, or what your purpose is, read The Power of Now.
The Power of Now.
The Power of Now I read a couple times.
I've heard of that one.
Those 2 books are my top recommended.
Okay.
Also, those 2 are my top recommended.
Okay.
I have like 28 books that I've read so far. So
that's good.
If you have next question.
So like while we're stalking you doing our research, we found this one thing where it was that you were given the opportunity to go to Lebanon, I believe, and help out Syrian refugee families. So we want you to tell us and the audience about some things that they can benefit from that and what you learned from that, and just enlighten us on that your trip.
Lovely. So basically, every year, I try to like do something to give back, and during the winter we go through a lot, right? Like seasonal depression. It's cold. Everything becomes slower. People like want to go get groceries if they're, it's a whole mission. It's a hassle because it's cold. But we go back home. It's warm, right? We don't have to deal with more hardships. We have a jacket, whatever. So that time is the time where I feel like it's the most that people need us if they're living in camps. So I reached out to an organization and I collected money. I raised, I think, the first time I did it 2 years ago was $40,000. Second time, 50,000
good.
US dollars.
Yeah.
And so I went to Lebanon the second time. The first time I really wanted to go and deliver the aid myself, but it was COVID. So I made sure the second time that I went, because it's important to create this trust between you and your audience. Because if they're trusting you with the money, like at least show them where it's going. So I went there and I did it, and it was honestly the most
Depressing.
not depressing. It was the
Life-changing?
most life-changing,
Yeah.
eye-opening experience
Eye-opening,
ever. Just to see those kids being excited about seeing,
Yeah.
like, just not me, just anyone that
Anyone,
shows
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And I was playing with them, like things like clapping on
Yeah.
hands stuff, and the clapping of the hands got them excited. You come here, you give a baby, a child an iPad, he throws it at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that really changed my perspective of a lot of things, and I felt like, you know,
Grateful.
I felt grateful. I also felt like sorry and sad for what's going on over there, and you know, I try my best to do whatever I can, and yeah. So to answer, I think I answered this question. Like, it made me feel more appreciative of life, and also wanted me to help more. So I'm gonna do this again this year, actually, for winter.
That's good. So I wanted to ask you kind of like a what if question.
Yeah.
Right. So like if TikTok and other social media platforms like hypothetically never popped off or took off, what would you do? Because I know you mentioned that you like anything creative, like editing, right? Maybe even photography if you like that. So like, would your career revolve around those things, or would it be something completely different?
It would be those. I think I truly am born for this. Like, I don't. There's nothing else that I'm good at. Like,
You
this
are
is
a
my
project
thing.
pilot, though, right?
I'm a private pilot just because
private pilot, yeah.
because
Okay.
it's for fun. But I don't see myself being a pilot.
So maybe,
yeah.
but if you needed, like, for example, if TikTok did not exist, if you lived like 20 years back then, what would you have done as a job though? Still, like, maybe pilot?
Or
I would create stick figures and like animate it to make a content.
So this is your destiny. So your destiny is creating content.
That's good.
creativity.
Good
That's
People
good. Yeah.
People need to be determined on.
You don't just need like, you know, like smart people in this world, the creative people to balance the smart people out, right? Because without creative people, half of these inventions wouldn't even
What he means
exist.
by smart people
I was about to
is
say-
engineers and doctors.
I was about to say, are you saying he's not smart? No, because
Content creators are dumb.
Creativity does need a lot of, like, it's how smart. So there's this thing called, like,
By the
how
way,
smart are
content
you?
creation itself, like content creators and influencers, also are businessmen and
definitely.
entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
because you don't understand. I spend a lot of my time emailing and creating deals and stuff like that. So there's also
It's
that.
bigger than just posting a TikTok.
Oh.
There's brand deals.
there's so much more to it. Yeah.
It's how
And
are
like,
you?
I'm working on stuff that you guys will see in a couple of months.
Where are you working?
That no, hold on.
Leak.
So there's always stuff behind the scenes that we're working on that you guys don't see till later.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the whole Make Me Laugh series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of planning before I started doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it started. I started posting it, popped off even more, and then, the Make Me Cringe, make me cry, make me scared, and in Christmas time I'm gonna do Make Me Smile.
Ah, that's good.
But
Yeah,
the
that's good,
catch
that's good.
is that everyone's gonna be a winner. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna get the money, but it's gonna be less money, probably $10. But if they just tell me I woke up today, here you go.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
So that's
really nice.
But yeah, so things are being happening behind the scene. A lot of planning, a lot of
definitely.
Is the Make Me series your favorite?
yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Same.
I love the whole talking to people, making friends. And by the way, I know I say I love content creation, but really what I love more than that is making new friends.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But content creation and posting and being more known allows that to be an easier process, and I can just make friends easier. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 10 new friends now.
yeah.
So it's really cool to be able to have that.
Are you? I just want to quickly ask. I mean, like you said that you're really into making friends and connections, right? So would you say you're like, since you're into that kind of stuff, would you say like to the audience, whoever's listening, that network is like a power? Kind
Yes, your network is your net worth, I think.
Yeah, network is your network. Yeah.
Once you are like, you make yourself what you want your network to be. You can't have a network when you're a certain person.
Yeah.
You can't, you know what I mean? Just apples and apples, orange and orange.
Yeah.
First create the person that you want to attract, and then that network will come to you. And yeah, obviously everything becomes easier. Like I met another guy at the gym, and we're gonna partner up on a new project.
Oh wow, yeah.
You know what I mean? But he's also in this industry. But if I wasn't in the same mindset as him, we would not click. We would not even talk.
Yeah.
So, also something that I learned that is really, really strong and valuable that I want you guys to take from
Advice.
here as well, is that your mind, your brain is like a radio. Right?
A radio.
When you go in the car and you put 103.5, what do you get?
Radio.
I don't know.
Z 103.5.
yeah,
If you
Z.
put 104.5, what do you get?
I love that song.
Chum FM.
Chum FM, yeah.
Okay. If you put 104.5, you will not get Z 103.5, obviously. You're gonna get Chum FM.
Yeah.
Right? Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how your brain
So
is.
change one.
When your brain is on a certain mindset, let's call it frequency,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, you will get that in people, circumstances, friends, situations, money, everything. You will receive that. So if you're not liking what's happening around you, what should you do?
Change who you want to be around.
No,
Right.
you can't do that. So what happens is if you change your frequency,
Yeah.
everything around you that you receive will change. So the secret
Okay,
is
nice.
you can't change the people around you or the world or what's going on, but you can do one thing. You can change inside.
So-
But
so you-
once you change inside and you switch
follows.
to 99.9 whatever FM,
Yeah.
you will get those friends will come. 99 FM, 99.9 will come to 99.9. Car accident, let's say, is on that frequency, you'll get in a car accident, blah, blah, blah. Situations, circumstances, friendships, everything will be. So if you want things around you to change, you change what's inside.
So I do agree with that, because I think one of the only things that you can actually control in your life is how you see things, how you your brain. That's the true
How
like
you
thing.
perceive things. Yeah.
Yeah, the true thing you can control is your mind, and if you can't control that, then it's not a good idea.
Exactly. And, if, and no matter what you want your life to be, make it inside, it will happen outside.
Okay.
Like this is not a theory. It's
Yeah.
like a fact.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
fact,
I'm
yeah.
telling you guys a fact.
And so time's almost up, and we want to wrap things up. It was truly really nice having you here, and it was actually really fun talking to you.
Super genuine person.
Yeah.
Very
Great to
outgoing.
come here.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
I don't-
honestly, we thought this whole last night and all this. We've been thinking about how this will go.
Yeah,
and how
yeah.
it
It's
will
like
talk.
it's
we're
like kind of like
memorizing
Doctor
stuff,
Strange.
We didn't know what to say. Look
Yeah,
at
and
all
what
the
did I tell you at the
possibilities.
gym when I saw him the second time? I'm like, when's the podcast? He's like, I don't know. We're
We
trying
need to practice,
we're
yeah.
practice. I'm like, don't practice. Let's
Yeah, just
don't
do it.
worry. Let me
Just go with
come
it.
and it'll be nice.
He was
It'll
absolutely
flow.
right, yeah.
Was I right?
Yeah.
Definitely. This is
I think it went good. I don't know. I hope the
think
viewers
it
at
went
home
good,
enjoyed this.
I mean,
I hope so too.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak for myself. Like any advice that you gave today, like I really took it to like heart.
Yeah.
right?
So we can use all that advice
Yeah,
for our podcast. It's
definitely.
our second podcast now. We've got so many good ideas.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and also like everything. I hope that everything I said today will resonate in maybe even the guys behind the camera, people watching,
Yeah.
you guys. And if I'm able to if I was able to do something in the way that you think, that will affect something along the 1 year, 2 year from now. Like that's how powerful is that if I was able to, because of a word that I said today, affect one of yours lives
Yeah.
in the future. That's so powerful. So if I'm able to do that, then that's it. That's why I'm here.
All right, that's awesome.
That's
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you have a good day, and
Subscribe to him. Follow his socials.
Yeah.
Follow our
We'll
socials.
link them up on the screen
Yeah,
right
follow
now.
them, and I hope you guys, I hope that next time I come here, you guys have a really nice setup, or not here, maybe somewhere else, microphones, couches. Yeah,
one day, if we make it there,
Yeah,
if
We
it's
will.
by
We
your
will.
help,
We will make it there.
We will make
You
it.
will make
Maybe
it.
not yet, but we will make it.
You will make it.
And we will first special guest coming.
awesome. Hopefully, this will open the door to more.
Yeah, I hope so.
Definitely, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
No
I
problem.
hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to subscribe and smash the like button.